Thank you for tuning into the Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Arael Morocco. Peter is the director of the 12th Division of the ACIO, Advanced or Alien Contact Intelligence Organization. Jessica is a galactic liaison and interdimensional seer. Together, they will discuss the most current updates from the ACIO, Council of Five, and other extraterrestrial sources. Make sure to post your questions and comments below. Disclosures, insider intel that keeps you updated with planetary changes.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today on Disclosures. I am really excited. This is going to be an excellent show because this is the first time that Peter and I have really had a deeper discussion regarding the secret space program and the 20 and back process. And we're actually planning on putting together a dedicated page to explain some of the questions that people have had over the years, the confusion that people have regarding the space program being connected to my labs, or do they have to be, and just a lot of confusion about it because it's there's actually a separation in some of this information. So we want to recategorize, redefine the information because it was never put out there correctly. It was mostly experiential, people talking about what they had experienced, but not everyone had full access to the documentation or records regarding the history and the background of the secret space program. So the origin and when it began and so forth, just like the ACIO. People were observing the wing makers, which was only a small segment of the ACIO. Peter introduced information regarding the much broader scale and the depth of history, which you could hear in the history of the ACIO that I put together through information that Peter has shared with us. So as those that have been listening for a long time, you know that Peter has a wealth of information or a depth of information that I have yet to see with anyone else. And I'm not saying that anybody's right or wrong. It's not about that. I'm not saying we're better than anyone else. But I think that, and I don't think, I know that people should, be patient and really listen through, and to see this information is available. So that's why we constructed the website, so people can peruse, they can read it in their own time and research these different types of information. But also, we don't block our comments. So if people have something else that they need to share or they're really frustrated about, please do. I try to go through and answer all those responses. But without further delay, we're going to get right in there and talk to Peter about it. I was so excited. I was very, very excited, and some of the others from the our group, whether it's Kruger or Unit 374, we're very excited when new information comes in or something that is deeper defined from what we've been hearing about for many years and people experiencing different things. But you always hear in the background, nobody fully understands the operations of it. This is the type of information that Peter can provide. So without further delay, we're going to bring in, hello, Peter.
So I want to say hello to you, Jessica, and to all of our regular and maybe not so regular listeners. And now we want to start with RSC, also called Rainstorm Company.
Because this is some follow-up information that we need to cover. So I'm going to share my screen here, and we'll get into that first. so people can see. The reason why Peter is laughing is because we made mention that the Rainstorm company sort of looks juvenile, or sort of like, I don't know, a clown. Like the colors of, like, almost like they're mocking us. This is a carnival. Don't take us serious, or we're laughing about, all of these different things. So as you can see, I'm just scrolling through here. And here it is. So we're going to open this up and read more. So this is the Rainstorm Corporation. And as you could see, it was on our website. A subsidiary of the Umbrella Corporation, founded in 2021. And the corporation inherited roughly 10 to 20% of the assets and resources from its parent company, Umbrella, while the rest of the corporation was assembled together and from a variety of other mega corporations spanning across pharmaceuticals, biotechnology, military, heavy equipment, and defense and mining. In addition to being a subsidiary of Umbrella, the Rainstorm Corporation is also backed up with heavy assets from the US-based Pfizer Incorporated, a China-based defense contractor, Norinco, in the UK's and Australia's Rio Tinto Mining Corporation, and DARPA's own Division 8. The Rainstorm company's key objective is focused on developing highly effective standard medicaments based on high efficiency processes around the world, around recycling waste produced by humanity worldwide. At least on the surface level, this is how they choose to engineer their public image. So, yeah, we scroll down here and you see when you look at the past and the official corporate image, Rainstorm is deeply involved in completely heinous acts and crimes against humanity with their cruel live human experiments. So you can see in the forefront, it looks like legitimate corporations just, doing something that is necessary efficiency processes around recycling waste produced by humanity worldwide.
Yeah.
But that's their cover. And so tell us, Peter, what would you like to share about this information?
What do you mean? Give me a second.
Do you want to say anything else? I mean, this is it's very upsetting to see that, they're hiding under this guise of being innocent, like the colors that a child would embrace, and, almost looks like some kind of juvenile type of thing.
And
it doesn't match.
We can go down.
Right. However, when you look past the official corporate image, Rainstorm is deeply involved in completely heinous crimes and acts against humanity with their cruel live human experiments. Much like its parent company, Rainstorm is well known for performing inhuman experiments to sadistic scale on innocent people, mostly homeless individuals, patients from mental asylums, or children from orphanages. They would specifically, these are those people, the throwaway people, they call them, that nobody has any relatives or anyone that cares for them. And they would specifically target loners and outcasts from society who nobody would miss. The corporation would typically target individuals based on specific profiles, categories, such as race, age, gender, IQ, etc. Many of the human experimentations often involve testing their subjects with next generation miniature technologies such as ADO technologies as well.
Yeah, there should be not capital A but small a, but it doesn't matter. I'm just saying, do you know what do you think about this? This is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I mean, this is a problem, is we are, trusting and looking at corporations that typically get a lot of respect and adoration. They make a lot of money, so then they have power. And when they speak about anything, they usually have a voice. And so, meanwhile, they're taking their liberty to hide some of these things that they're doing. Now, it's not easy to find out exactly how they're doing this, but corporations in general are taking advantage of different things that are happening around the world, and the eyes of the public are not able to view unless something leaks or it gets exposed through the media.
Yeah.
But we know from the past that some of these things that we've spoken about before, that people end up finding out later that what we were saying was true. And so it's really hard to be the first ones to introduce new information, where there's always going to be skeptics and people that will ridicule us for attacking what they think are, a group that's possibly legitimate or innocent, but in fact has another agenda in our very questionable, corrupt world these days. A lot of people are constantly being surprised at those that are being found to have committed certain types of crimes that they never would have imagined, and had put them on a pedestal of fame and in respectability. And so, we're seeing that is becoming more diminished, and people are becoming more open to the idea that these activities are happening.
Yeah.
So,
it is
here,
absolutely crazy.
Here, as one can guess, the results of these experiments can conservatively be described as completely disastrous, as much as of these chemical and biological compounds have never been tested in our context of existence or reality until then. The results of these experiments would often end in subjects dying in excruciating and sadistic fashion, only to be cremated immediately to neutralize contamination. However, this would be considered a best case scenario, as the more unfortunate subjects would often undergo monstrous transformations that would require them to be locked away from within a high security wing of a DUMB or DUMB facility. In certain situations where researchers figure out how to prolong the survival of the monstrous subjects, they would then be able to continue their research and observations even under such extreme circumstances. Even despite the lack of overall testing and understanding of long-term consequences of these experimental weapons, this has not stopped Rainstorm Corporation from deploying them in battlefields across the world since 2021 to a devastating effect. Brainwashed scientists within the organization justify their research with the belief that the only way for humanity to truly move forward and evolve is through painful exploration despite the consequences. And their actions truly do espouse the idea of no pain, no gain.
That's it for me. That's it for me.
Right.
I mean, they don't understand the thing that it's not like that.
What you're talking about the scientists?
Yeah, they don't understand it at all.
And what we found out is that according to at the ACIO Intel, it is also known that the technology behind the the injection commonly seen today were initially introduced to scientists from the Rainstorm Corporation by another ET race from another reality where androids were heavily involved in running society. And the core technology behind this were initially designed for android entities in mind in order to help further enhance their system as opposed to organic humans. For this reason, or carbon-based humans, I could say, for this reason,
yeah.
Right? As opposed to silicon.
You are right. You nailed it.
Right. So they're trying to impose something that you would do with a silicon-based being as opposed to a carbon-based. And they will never have the intended effect that the original creators intended due to the technology not even being designed for humans to begin with. As a result, this has caused millions across the world to suffer the disastrous side effects that we have seen reported extensively by independent news outlets. So this ties in a little bit more of information. It's a form of intel, whether, like as you say, Peter, like it or not. And
that's the problem. I mean, so many people don't like it.
Right. But, let's be realistic. What they're doing, this experimentation that they're doing worldwide on humanity, isn't compatible for humanity. It never was. It never made any sense in the first place. So this is I don't know if this is part of the bleed-throughs, where these beings came in from another context of existence, these scientists trying to implement, what their practices are.
That's the stuff they like. They like to make experiments within experiments. It is pretty much some sort of babushka / matryoshka. Do you know what I mean? Like what is it? Inception, like a dream within a dream within a dream, and then it is like, yeah, we are doing it. We can do it, doing it. Until one thing, that those people will completely lose control what is real and what isn't. You know what I mean?
When you say those people, are you referring to those scientists and those from
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. If they are even people, and if they still can manage, if they still are in quotes in quotes in charge, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the problem.
But humanity meantime is suffering the consequences from this mixed up world that was introduced to us through initially the Umbrella Corporation.
Yeah, but that happened thousands of years ago. Thousands of years ago.
Right.
Just by the way. Just by the way.
And this is what we're looking at is, so if we go over to back over.
No, of course not. I'm not talking about the Rainstorm Company. I'm talking about Umbrella, but pretty much it is the same source. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
Yeah. Come on.
There it is.
Yeah.
Umbrella Corporation.
I mean, that's the problem. Now, only quotes in quotes, 1876, but from different contexts of existence or in different contexts of existence, they are like 10,000 years old or something like that.
That's a very long time. And,
yep.
And you see that there's a discussion about the Spanish flu from 1918 and the Hong Kong flu, Vietnam flu, Asian flu, as well as, the most recent one. And then there's an introduction of white phosphorus, Agent Orange, less familiar Agent Blue, all of which were used in the Vietnam War.
We can call them not only Agent. We can call them
rainbows.
Agent Rainbow or Rainbow Program. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But most of them are, as you said, both of them.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Agent Orange and Agent Blue. Yeah. Oh my. This is so bad.
The American leadership was shocked by the severity of the damage that was caused, and this made the Americans fearful of the potentially being used on them. And that was a disastrous war for the Americans, the Vietnam War. And a lot of people survived. Quite a few people survived Agent Orange, but they had a lifetime of health issues. You know, especially those that didn't look for alternative methods of healing. And as a result, the U.S. leadership shut down the entire project and locked away all the assets indefinitely. But you can see there's a bunch of series of the Umbrella Corporation, their series of movies. And it explains everything that happened. And it was so precise that when it actually opened up and did happen in our reality, even the same terminology and locations and so forth, Wuhan was brought up. So
I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's something to really look at. Another show that I've been looking at, and Peter, you mentioned this. I think it was one of the first shows that I did with you in 2017. And it's called Warehouse 13. And in Warehouse 13, in season 4, and I think around episode 10 or so, they bring up this pandemic that comes from China, and it was based on an orchid that was...
I told you.
Yeah, so you mentioned this in 2017, and we were talking today about how Warehouse 13 discloses a whole lot of information.
And nobody believed that, or only very, very little people believe that.
The information regarding Warehouse 13 is, I think it was around 2011, 2012 when it first came out. Actually, it came out in 2009. And it ended around 2014. Think about how advanced that it was in calling out certain things. And just as confirmation, Peter, the ACIO acknowledges places like Warehouse 13 that have been around to retrieve artifacts and do whatever it is that they need to do to keep the world safe from activated or highly dangerous objects.
Yeah. That's it. And so many people don't, I don't know. If they don't want to believe it, or don't believe it, don't want to believe it, or how can I call it? It's like no, this is bad. I don't wanna go to that and whatsoever. Jeez, you know what I mean?
Right. And it actually, enhances a person, but then hurts a person. And I'm going to give a perfect example of one of the objects that recently was used and it was highly publicized was Kim Kardashian wearing a Marilyn Monroe dress, which didn't really fit her, but she kind of altered it so that it would fit her and wore it at a big event. And it created a whole bunch of journalism and people taking pictures of her and making a really big deal over it. And that is the activation of the dress. And so people that understand this, they're using objects from people that were already famous. And it doesn't work with everything, but if you get the right object, right, it can help. But there's repercussions to it. Right,
oh,
Peter?
You can believe that it is.
Right. So things that might have happened in your life might not happen because you got that moment of fame, but then you lose a bunch of other things that are important. Right, Peter?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I don't know why so many people don't believe that, or don't believe that, don't want to believe that.
Well, here's a perfect example. They call it fictional history. And we know that they can't say this is, a documentary, because then that would bring in a lot of questions of the public looking for some of these warehouses, right, Peter?
Oh yeah, you are right.
Yeah, which would get that they would probably get killed or something like that, because they're very dangerous to try to get into. But here's the layout of where they were supposed to be from. And you could look at the date. Warehouse 1 was built in 336 to 323 under the orders of Alexander the Great.
Yeah, you are right.
And he held on to those artifacts, probably being smart enough to realize that they were dangerous. And then they go
you
to
are right. You are right.
Warehouse 2, which lasted until the Roman conquest of Egypt. And that was in Egypt, right?
Yeah. Another true stuff.
Yep. Warehouse 3 is in the Roman Empire, which is not surprising and probably still exists there under the Vatican.
And Vatican is big mess.
Right.
All of us, we know that's true.
Right. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that one out. And Warehouse 4 is the Hunnic Empire by the Attila the Hun.
Yeah.
Where would that be? Is that Hungary or?
Yeah, you are right.
Yeah. And then Warehouse 5, the Byzantine Empire.
That's kind of complicated story, pretty much.
But this one right here?
Yeah.
In what way, Peter?
Because it's kind of secret to say.
Okay. Warehouse 6 in Cambodia under the Khmer Empire. We know that there's a lot of activity there too. Warehouse 7, the Mongol Empire in Genghis Khan, which is not surprising either since he had major conquests, right? He had a huge empire.
Yeah, you are right. And I mean, a huge empire, right?
Right. Warehouse 8 in Germany, but it's during the Holy Roman Empire.
Yeah.
So did they collaborate with Rome and at that point?
You are right.
Warehouse 9, the Ottoman Empire, Constantinople, Turkey.
Yeah, you are right.
Until the death of Suleiman the Magnificent. Warehouse 10, the Mughal Empire, that's in India, which I'm not surprised. I would almost think that they would have had one even earlier than Alexander the Great.
Why?
Because they're older. Maybe not the Mughals, but the just India in itself.
You mean like that?
Yeah,
you
like
are
the
right.
ancient Vimanas and the Sanskrit and all the early written documentations of that very, very old civilization. But they don't list that here.
Yeah, you are right.
Maybe it was moved, right? Warehouse 11, the Russian Empire, under the Romanovs, but then the Romanovs got taken over by the Bolsheviks.
That was tragedy.
Yeah. And then somehow was it it's 1812 Napoleonic War, the Russian was the attempt to seize control of Warehouse 11. So Napoleon tried to take over Warehouse 11, from Russia, it looks like.
Yeah.
But Napoleon also got in trouble by trying to go into some of the pyramids in Egypt as well.
Yeah, because he's crazy.
Yeah, he didn't really research things enough when he went after them. He just went after them.
And I am saying he is, and it was like, what? What do you mean is? Because he is living in another context of existence.
Yeah, is he ruling the world in that other context of existence, or just?
No, he is.
He is. Is he? I know that we talked with Taino regarding France and in the United States.
Yeah, that's it.
So that's the bleed through. That's his. Yeah, that's his kingdom. That's bleeding through still.
Yeah, that's it.
Sense.
This is his. That is his. Whatever it is,
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can still feel the effects of it. Indefinitely.
Of course.
Yep. Warehouse 12 in the United Kingdom from 1830 to 1914. And there's a woman in the show, and she calls herself H.G. Wells.
Yeah, and?
Well, H.G. Wells, according to our history, was a man. But she shows that I think it's her brother that gets information from her, and he becomes famous. But she's the time traveler.
And this is the problem?
Is that the truth, Peter?
Yeah, it is true. Why?
Yeah.
What's the stuff?
So is H.G. Wells still around? Have you interacted with her?
Yeah, but pretty much yes and no. And you are like, what the heck? It's easy because it's hermaphrodite.
Oh, so that makes sense. Okay.
But not hermaphrodite like being born like that, but it can, how can I say it? It can turn here and there and there. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
All right. There was another movie. I'm trying to remember what it was called, where there was a person that was very old, like in history, and he started off as a man, and then he evolved into a woman, and then he evolved back to a man, or something weird like that.
Yes, but this is not like involved and backwolved and whatsoever. No, he can or she can do it as she or he want. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, has some kind of, does she have an artifact that enables her to become male or female?
Yep. Exactly.
Kind of like, there are shows also that talk about, a woman like morphing, or then there's also those that step into a body.
What do you think about this? Isn't it weird?
Yeah. I mean, so you're saying she just morphs, but she's not jumping into other bodies. It's just
no,
same body.
No.
Okay.
No. But still it is weird.
So when you met H.G. Wells was, let's just take a look real quick. H.G. Wells looks like. This is her and she looks like Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, exactly. That's Sandra Bullock.
It is
pretty much some sort of clone-ish whatsoever-ish. Yep, exactly. That's her.
But is this what H.G. Wells looks like?
Give me a second. I am saying it to you right now. Yeah. That's it.
That she does. Okay. That's wild. But that she's working for the warehouses or special forces or doing.
Yes, we can talk about it in next show.
But she's.
No, not okay. Warehouses. Special forces.
Special forces. Okay.
I can say Hebrew special forces. Okay.
Okay. So getting back to this, so that was we talked about Napoleon, and then Warehouse 11. Let's see, 11, and then where's 12 and 13? Warehouse 12, United Kingdom, which we just mentioned in H.G. Wells, and then of course Warehouse 13 is the one in South Dakota.
And then Warehouse 13 was in U.S.
Yeah, in South
and
Dakota,
then moved
U.S.
to China. It was normal.
So Warehouse 13 is moved to China?
Yeah, in the end of the...
I didn't see the completion. So, well, that would make sense. What's going on right now then?
I mean, give me a second. In the end of the whole TV show.
Yep.
But pretty much it wasn't, you are like, what the heck? It wasn't Warehouse 13, but Warehouse 14. Then it transformed, right?
Yeah. And interesting, one of the things that they bring up, Peter, is Alice. And here is...
No, please, no. No, don't talk about Alice.
Right, because that was a problem.
Don't talk about the white rabbit. Jesus.
Right.
I hate white rabbits. No, you don't understand. They've got their holes, and in the holes, and they're like shh, 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 and they are like making, what the heck are you doing here? And they are like, I am just waiting for you. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. And they are guarding the thing. And I was like, what do you mean the thing? And then the thing, do you know what I mean? Okay. From my point of view, wolf shouldn't definitely be aware. I mean, shouldn't, how can I say it? Be cautious. Like, okay, I know where the heck is rabbit, but he wasn't afraid of rabbit, of wolf. And I was like, I am waiting here for wolf. And I was like, what? This doesn't make any sense. This is some sort of Alice in Wonderland. And he was like, and I was like, okay, give me a second. This reality is not okay. I am talking with animals.
And they're in like some other context of existence, but coming through portals.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're levels of intelligence. It was someone's experiment, or
it looks like that.
Yeah, or humans being turned into animals, or I don't know. There's a lot of variation.
But it was so weird, and he was making fun from me.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
I mean, the rabbit, and I was like, I am guarding the wolf, and I was like, no, you are not. Why? Because you are the rabbit. Rabbits shouldn't be guarding the wolves. And he was like, I am rabbit, and I was like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Well, no, different rules apply in different places, right? So here we have our laws, right? Our natural laws in other locations. Those laws don't exist. And Lewis Carroll knew this. He knew that. Lewis Carroll, who wrote Alice in Wonderland, he understood that that there are different rules in the quantum or other realities.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that was the whole thing of taking a pill and becoming bigger, and taking a bite of a cake or something like that and becoming smaller, whatever it was.
Whatever, and that's the problem. Whatever it was, that's the problem.
Right.
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And yeah, and you know who, the Alice, whatever. I didn't say too much about her, but yeah, she's pretty scary when she comes out.
Oh my God, yeah.
And then activated by.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh my. That was cake.
Yeah.
No, give me a second. That was. Oh my God. And that was. Give me a second. I mean it for real. Okay. I mean it for real. That there was a squirrel. Not squirrel, okay, my bad. They were squirrels. Which big squirrel's family. And they were offering us, I mean as a team, cakes. Whole bunch of cakes. Oh my God. And we were so hungry. Oh my God. I mean, if we will take a bite for, oh my God, I don't know what will happen.
Right, it's a trick.
Oh my God,
it's definitely a trick.
I'm just saying, oh my God, I will say, oh my God, like 100 times more. But do you know what? Yikes! Yeah, it's a trick. It's a trick.
Yeah, and well, that you see that throughout the whole show. I mean, some of the things that you think are ridiculous, like Marilyn Monroe's brush that turns their hair like platinum color, and the area, what is it? Was it a discotheque? Here it is.
What?
Yeah, they have like all these different objects that are silly. W.C. Fields juggling balls and things
and what
that.
Do you think about being in Wonder? I don't want to say land, but some
Wonderland?
sort of.
Yeah.
Because it was so weird. It was odd. Something what was odd at that mission, and it happened recently.
There was, people have brought up to me years ago when you did a show and then out of nowhere you were tasting apple pie. And
no, don't talk about apple pie. Jesus, no.
And then you saw Maxine, and there were some other things that were happening. The cubes, the Rubik's cubes showed up.
Don't talk about apple pie. Apple pie is crazy. I will not. No. I. Oh my God. Last time I tried apple pie, and we simply, and we were in the other context of existence. Oh my God.
Wow.
It is not out. It is crazy. Jeez.
Well,
and they were squirrels. They were I don't know what they were. They were.
When did this happen? How long ago was this mission?
That's a question. 2 weeks ago or so.
You never told me about it.
You never asked. Oh my God. And all of those animals they were just laughing, and it was like, and even the everything pretty much went alive, and I was like, no, I am not dreaming, or I am not under influence. And that's the stuff, like different contexts of existence, and it has its own how we can call it, its own consciousness, if we can call it.
Yeah, like I said, there's different rules, there's different types of beings there.
But do you know what is crazy? That the fact that we can see how it is thinking, not only thinking, but speaking, smiling, you know what?
Expressions?
Singing. I will say you why. Do you know why? Because we are, quotes in quotes, tuned into frequencies.
Yes.
Now we are not. There we are. Huh?
I see what you're saying. Yeah, you're more sensitive, kind of like dog hearing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty interesting. I like spaces like that. They seem less dangerous. And well, they talk about, all of these different types of objects that can bring people into a dangerous situation or a crazy situation, right?
Yeah.
And when you're traveling, you could get into some kind of weird situation as well.
Yeah. But to be perfectly honest, I'm just kind of more happy that we are talking about this than we are talking about, how can I say that, Rainstorm Company just getting us into deep shit, and I will not watch my language.
Well, I think it was since, I don't know, 2019, 2020, when we started talking about what's going on with Umbrella. So this is it's another deeper layer of it, which is good that the information's coming out. It's good for everyone. Right?
Good or not, because some people don't like to hear it.
It's okay. So the people that want to hear it, the information's here.
What? What? There is lack of logic.
So I thought this might be a good time for us to start talking about time traveling technology or information. And a couple of us had a list of questions that we were curious to understand, and we wanted to have everything documented and put on the website so that people wouldn't be confused, because often people get multiple programs put together and thinking that they're all the same thing, such as MyLab's abductions and then the secret space program, and it's not all the same. So the first question we talk about is regarding the 20 and back, and you said it's the oldest way of time travel that has been around because it's 20 years either forward or backwards. The ACIO found the first mentions of it in what's considered Iraq, or formerly known as the Sumerian Empire, 7,000 years ago.
It's Iraq, yep. It's Iraq. Yeah.
Which was formerly the Sumerian Empire, right? 7,000 years ago. 7,000 years ago, the secret space program has been going on.
No, please, this is not the same. This is not the same secret space program.
What would it be called there?
Sorry, what?
What would it be called if it's not the same as the secret space program?
This is definitely not the same.
Oh, this is a 20 and back.
This is 20 and back. No, please. This is not secret space program. This is time travel program, okay? This is total different stuff.
It says 20 and back is the oldest way of time traveling. It's called because it is 20 years either forward or backwards.
It is regular or usual step, but if they want, they can make 10% plus, but it's highly unrecommended.
So the ACIO first mentions this from Iraq, which was formerly known as the Sumerian Empire 7,000 years ago. Unknown human hybrids from different contexts of existence successfully manipulated our reality for their advancements. They misled us in order to believe that the way or how time is flowing is very easy, just past, present, and future. This is not true because the way of the process that they were talking about, how time works, is much more complex and complicated. So one of the scenarios is multiple case scenarios at one place, but what was, is, and will become real is only a matter of choice of multiple people. Explain that, Peter.
It is pretty much, it's easy. It's pretty much like, like I want to have to do something, you want to do something, or whoever whatsoever, and I don't know what will happen, and there are of course certain circumstances, and there will be, or I don't know, there will be conditions and whatsoever, and all of those things, they are very closely tied together, bounded together, and we can call it, we can make a parallel to rope, very powerful rope, for example, sailing rope, right?
Right.
So this is reality. This is case scenario. What do you think? Is it good or not? Good enough?
So you're saying that the parallels look like ropes, like next to each other, like that?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Those are parallels.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, not parallels. Those are, give me a second. Those are times.
Timelines.
Timelines.
Right.
Yes. This is the way how time is, and that's the question, how we can call it, how time is working, and pretty much what we will do or what we will choose, that will be it. You know what I mean?
It's a group decision of how things go. So it's mass consciousness, or a collective, a large group that is interested in doing something.
Exactly. This is it.
The second point that we brought up is that we're bringing up is partial steps in time travel. So we talk about the typical 20 forward, 20 back, because there's a safety measure in that. It's the safest way to travel. But the partial steps, you said, we know from different sources that it started 6,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Mankind gathered enough knowledge in order to get a solid idea about locations of control and support, points for partial traveling, whether it's 5 or 10 or 15 years. Those locations are both tropics of the Cancer and Capricorn, equator and North and South poles. This kind of time travel has more risks because it's getting out of the standard traveling cycle. The safest way is a half cycle. That means 10 years. The other intervals are 5 and 15 years and are not completely safe, and they are not recommended to use, especially we are considering a big time jump, which can be more than 100 cycles. The aftermath of wrong directed time jump through a wormhole is frequently very bad.
Give me a second. What is just, by the way, FII? What is just, by the way, FII? It's 2,000 years. It's not that bad. FII, if you consider, it's not that bad.
To do a jump?
No, I'm just saying, because people maybe like now what they are talking about 100 cycles, but it is like 2,000 years. It's big. Do you know what I mean? It's big time jump.
It is, yeah.
But believe me, or believe it or not, people were using much higher or much they are talking about stronger time jumps, stronger because they need to use reactors, you know.
There's different groups that are time traveling.
Yeah.
Can you give us like a rough estimate of how many groups have been traveling? Is it just nations, or is it then on top of that?
Oh no, they are using many of groups. They are using this kind of stuff, many of them.
It's become very common. Yeah. So when you see these kids on some of the I don't know, on YouTube on occasion, I'm not saying all of them are true, but some of them are actually coming back and saying that they went into the future, they had this experience. Some of it is accurate then.
Look, the stuff is like now, and that's the sorry, this is kind of juvenile and childish, but now, what is now? In last, what is, let's say, no, I'm thinking industrial revolution, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this revolution, what is like 250 years? I don't want to say 300, 250, 300. So it is pretty much from our point of view, because if one man or woman, it doesn't matter, if one person will live for 100 years, it's long. So quotes in quotes, only from this point of view, it's absolutely common, right? And pretty much it's like, for example, if you are going on the street and you have 1/4 like a coin, you have a penny on the street, lying on the street, and you are do you know what I mean? And you will get it, do you know what I mean, on your pocket. It's not a big deal, absolutely, on that kind of. No, it's not a big deal, absolutely. No.
What do you mean?
It looks primitive. I mean, how can I say it? It doesn't look so quotes in quotes fancy and whatsoever, but I'm just saying, do you know what I'm trying to say? It's pretty much like from this point of view, because look, try to think, okay? Try to think. We are talking about 7,000 years ago, approximately, versus 300. It's nothing, absolutely nothing, right?
But you say that it creates violent tearing in the context of existence.
Yeah, sorry, what?
That when you do those bigger jumps, that it creates violent tearing in the context of existence.
Yes, but give me a second. You said that so many people are saying that they were in the future and whatsoever, and I am saying that I don't want to say 100% that they are necessarily true,
Right.
but I am saying that during, or let's say since the Industrial Revolution started, it is pretty much like last 300 years or something like that. It's pretty much like 30 years before there was no internet, for example, right?
Right.
Now, try to think what we have with internet right now, right? So it is pretty much something like that. Do you know what I mean? Internet is, I don't want to say everywhere, okay, my bad, but pretty much everywhere. Do you know what I mean? So this is it. This technology, if you know how can I say it? If you are smart enough and if you do you know what I mean? If you are DIY, so do it yourself, man, woman, or whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? It is not that kind of complicated to build no, it's not that kind of complicated.
Kind of like John Titor.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Kind of like John Titor.
Yeah, and especially I'm thinking last 150 or let's say 170 years, something like that. Absolutely not a big deal. Absolutely not a big deal. Believe me, absolutely. Like
well,
that.
I think, I mean, obviously we can't validate anyone. It would have to be like on an individual basis.
Give me a second. No, please. I am not saying individual, like case to case. Right. I am saying how it is according our knowledge in general, okay? That it is very, very easy to get, to access, okay? That's it.
Right.
Give me a second, if we are talking about 20 and back, because there are many other technologies, modern technologies, much more highly advanced and enhanced technologies, that's total different case. But this easiest and more, let's say, absolutely most primitive stuff, because pretty much internet, it's still internet. It's pretty much like, I don't know, if you have car and you have wheels and you have only one thing still after I don't know how many of I don't know, I'm thinking 150, 100, almost 70 or so years. Only one thing is on the wheels, rubber. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So this is it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? This is internet. It's still internet. Do you know what I'm trying to say? This is, yeah, this is.
So whether you use very advanced technology or you use something less advanced, but it does the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
And also, more things can go wrong, right? When you do a time jump.
This is another problem. You can, how can I say it? You can have much more, I don't know, presets, like, okay, I want to do this, I can do that, but as you said, more things can get screwed, and believe me, they will.
Right. Like
even
going to the wrong place or something like that.
And even not if you are rookie, but even if you are very, very experienced, because it's easy, it's normal. All of us, we are making mistakes. It's normal. Yeah.
right? Or not just making a mistake, something else goes on, right? Something else happens that throws you off for some reason. Yeah. So yeah, there's definitely the dangers in it. So the longer the time period, obviously, is more dangerous. It's not like, a portal is a portal and it's all equal.
But from my point of view, how many times you are doing that? I mean, do you know what I mean? How many times? Like more than 2 millennia? No, for real. Nah, not that big deal. Do you know what I mean?
Does the body break down if you travel too much?
Nope, because they are using capsules.
And that preserves you, and so you don't age or anything like that, right?
No. It looks like a capsule, like, I don't know, how can I call it? It looks so weird. It looks like a
tube?
Yeah, some sort of, almost like a tube from old radios or old TVs or something like that, yeah.
Yep.
But tubes are, how can I say that? They are not so 100% perfect, and those are literally like perfect, like cells in the body. Do you know what I mean? That kind of capsules.
The steampunk ones, when they show, like on Jules Verne or H.G. Wells.
This is what I'm talking about.
They're more like I don't know, like a vehicle, brass looking, right? With contraptions and things on the inside, like a car in some ways.
Yeah, no, I understand you. Yeah. But give me a second. You can't you can't compare Jules Verne, because Jules Verne was time traveler too, just by the way.
Right.
But we know it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's get back to this. And one of the questions that we had was genetic heritage. Why are specific people chosen for these programs?
And that's the problem. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say I don't know, but they have specific, I don't want to say key, but they've got the genetic heritage, the profile, and I am not, doctor, I mean medical doctor or whatsoever, but they've got very specific profile, and I am not an expert in this field, to be honest.
What you told us is there are two different and completely independent groups of people with genetic types to explore, and you're using two different types as an example.
First is, my bad, are either soldiers or, and this is it. People are like, what the heck? What the heck is Insider talking about? But it is either soldiers or special military black ops, units members, because they shouldn't be necessarily soldiers. They can be many more stuff. They can do many more stuff, right? They can do many more stuff. So this is it. And this is first group. Second group is, and just by the way, the second group, what is weird, the second group, so many times people like volunteered it. I don't know if they manipulated or whatsoever. I don't know, don't ask me, because they volunteered that to those programs. Those people went at those programs in order to make time traveler programs like more easier, more advanced, and whatsoever, you know. But there are so many crazy ways they need to have. I mean, they need to fulfill. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want to fool you, okay? Not only you, Jessica, but our listeners. No, because
Right.
I am not in the first place, or let's say on one hand, I am not medical doctor, and I wasn't in you know, in the process when they created, okay, those people should be here, those people not. Do you know what I mean? No, I wasn't there.
Right.
I only know basic principle. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, it's mostly to give an example because there are
Yeah.
obviously exceptions to the rule, and that some people are brought in that don't fit any of the profiles. Like you said, that they're not really, nobody's ever revealed exactly what they're looking for, but they obviously have something in mind. And
Yeah.
then this other group you said are people you said that are enhancing time travel technology because of a wide variety of experiments that are needed, either 90% with inner body implants. So these are people
What is absolutely crazy? Give me a second. They were, how can I say, normal, and they were, quotes in quotes, enhancing them. Sorry, you can move on. Sorry, this is my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, they enhance them with black goo based on miniature technology, the nano times 10 minus 9. In order to achieve this, all the people were very carefully selected thanks to a DNA profile as a heritage from their ancestors. The biggest advantage of the technology, in fact, that the experiments participants do not need to be de-aged back because they never really aged during the process of time traveling. So they
yes,
yeah.
but this is absolutely crazy, at least from my point of view, because some of them were implanted with chips. Another of them had goo, and then I said black goo, but it's like we know, most of us know whatsoever, but it's not just black goo whatsoever. But, and those, like, oh my god, poor people, they've got both. And I was like, what? This is next level craziness. They've got both. Like, how in the world somebody can have both? You know what I mean? Like, okay, I don't want to say okay because this is not a-okay.
Those are they volunteering this experiment or?
You know, look, as I said, for most of those people, they don't, how can I say it? Those experiments, it was their best, not best case, best, how we can call it, best choice. It's like they don't have, and it's like, nah, insider is telling us BS. Nobody with higher IQ will do it. Believe me, if you don't have anything, if you have homeless, believe me, people, even intelligent people, can go homeless or get
Right.
homeless because
Yes,
of
it's
complicated
hardship.
circumstances.
Right.
Or, for example, intelligent people, they are way too intelligent. They are that intelligent they simply get nuts and ended up in Nuts house. No, I mean it for real. It is how it is.
They have a breakdown of some sort.
Yeah,
from
yeah,
something
yeah,
that
yeah.
happened, drugs, alcohol, or hardship.
Exactly. This is it what I said. Nobody will look out for them. And, you know, oh my God. Oh my God. And for them, it was like, if they have, I mean, those quotes in quotes nuts, okay, we need to be normal. So if they are out of their mind, and if they were at least just a little bit normal because they've got their own, times, like if they were absolutely out of everything, and in another times they were normal, more normal, right?
Right.
And they will make reasonable discussion with them, and they were like, okay, there will be a very good opportunity to have accommodation, and on and on and on and on. And it ended up, we know how.
Sometimes it's destiny, the people end up in a situation where they're open to doing what they were probably here for, to help out in some way.
I'm just saying that it's, no, I'm just.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I've seen things in my own life and in other people's lives where it's almost like no matter what you do, your life gets redirected in a specific way because
Do you
it's
know
part
what?
of your destiny, maybe.
Do you know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
I absolutely understand you.
Right. So, any last thoughts, or do you want me to move on to the next one?
I think we are fine.
So natural abilities is another point that we bring up. You said that many people are selected to time travel because of their ancestors. They had a special ability. They have close communication based via resonation with nature, or they resonate with nature. Some people have telepathy or mind reading abilities, and another one maybe has telekinesis. All of those abilities are crucial once they are combined together, when those kind of people are concentrated at one place, because thanks to their gifts, they can see different scenarios as reality, and that will make us prevent from making the same mistakes over and over again, I guess, as problems were created. In other words, to say that they literally saved the context of existence a lot of times. According to the ACIO database, there are at least 2,000 times when those type of people saved our reality from complete collapse.
What do you think, Hannah?
I believe it. Yeah. Yeah, in allowing humanity. So people say, well, and they have their belief systems, and they pray to God, and they pray to the God source, or all living things, and then some people are completely, I don't believe in any God. We make our own destiny. We're just here once. There's a lot of different belief systems of how this happens, but here's yet another one that enhanced people, or people that came in with abilities and gifts, are here to help humanity, and they have in the past.
Yeah, you are right. You are very right.
Be nice to your local psychic. Right?
What? Sorry?
You should be nice to your local psychic.
No, to be perfectly honest, I don't know, because there are too many things to know what I mean, to think about, or to talk about, maybe. And what do you think? What is the best way about?
Well,
The best way.
I know that that in the past, people that had abilities were considered witches and evil and all of these other things, but they didn't realize that those are the very people that are trying to help. And not on all occasions, but on some. And it's just another scenario for people to look at. Right?
Mm-hmm.
2,000, at least 2,000 times of saving the earth. I'd say that's a pretty good track record.
That's my question. You didn't knew that?
No, I didn't know it was. I knew that they have helped, and there's many. It's really good because there's a lot of shows coming out showing people that time travel and come back to help the planet. People that are using their abilities to find dangers that are happening on the planet. So there's a lot of different TV shows and scenarios that talk about these things. So that's I did know about it in that sense. But,
yeah, it is how it is,
So we can move on to the next one, which is people that have a military background. And I can tell you, I've had many people that I've talked to personally with a military background or generations of military in their family, right?
Uh-huh.
And it says that you said it's obvious that all of the soldiers, special military unit members have military background, not only directly them, but long-term good Army profile of their ancestors in a very big, which brings a very big advantage. But it does not automatically mean that the soldiers will end up in time traveling programs. There are specific selective processes, and only they did. Once they did not pass, then they will not be let into the program. The good point here is that soldiers can give us more detailed description of the war in other contexts of existence because they have an enhanced vision on reality. Civilian people, they are participating on enhancing time traveling technology via experiments that does not have any sort of military background on one hand, but on the other hand, in most cases, they are selected by their profession or job because the whole time travel technology is a too risky a project to get to the public. So you're saying that the military, if people with a military background, if they're in another context of existence, they understand the operations of the military, the terminology, the basic operations. They don't have to be trained.
Yeah, you are right.
The civilians maybe could support in other areas.
Absolutely.
Or be involved with military, but not on the level that the others are, unless they're trained in the other context of existence.
Oh, you are very right.
So and that's why there are some people that have vivid dreams, recall, and ideas and knowledge that they can't figure out regarding military. Right?
Yeah, that's true because it's like everybody has its own role.
Right.
It's how it is, and people should accept it. Shouldn't it?
If they accept it, it will become a lot easier, and then we can move on to the next thing. But until they keep wanting to disagree or saying that some of this stuff doesn't exist, we can't move any further. We're stuck. And then if we keep moving further and sharing information, then what happens? There's a very small percentage of people that understand what's going on, and that's it. And the others will, they're following what everyone else is saying, and so they're not willing to open up to this information, and it will hold them back, especially if they're already in another context of existence doing that work.
If they already are, and that's the stuff. If they already are,
then don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. Find out what you're doing. Don't be afraid of it. That's what I tell people. There's nothing to be afraid of. You've already done it. You're already there, and you're here, and you're alive, and you're fine. So it's just a matter of knowing. It won't make you crazy if you know this. It's not going to say, oh, yeah, this is scary that I know this, or people are going to think there's something wrong with me if I talk about it. Then don't talk about it to everybody. But don't lie to yourself if you know that this is something that's true, because then you create your own fracturing. So you don't want to do that either. So,
and other stuff.
right.
You are right. Very, very right.
Yeah, because we see people like that, they have a lot of problems then, because then they think there's something wrong with them because they're having a full recall. And there's nothing wrong with them you're having a recall because you've been there. But it doesn't mean that your life has to change dramatically over here. It's just recognizing it. That's it.
Yeah, but you know how it is.
Right.
So many people believe, nah, I don't want to talk about this. I want to do this and that, you know.
And then 10, 20 years later, they'll still, it won't go away. It won't go away because it happened, right?
And it will hit them even harder and harder, you know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I remember when I was younger and I kept having these visions and I kept on ignoring them until it hit me pretty hard. And then I stopped ignoring it. Made life so much easier, you know? And the same thing with you, Peter. If you were to ignore everything right now, it would be almost, I would say, dangerous for you at this point.
Yeah, you are very right.
Yeah. So, let's see. Civilian age groups. This is the next question. People are taken for time traveling technology pretty much at the age group, especially civilians, younger age group. So let's see, they are advancing technology. The youngest, according to our findings, is 6 years old. Children that are 6 years old. And,
what is crazy?
Right. So this is for time travel.
Yeah.
Until they're old as adults in their 60s.
Yeah, 65, 66, what we've got, at least. Yeah. Something like that.
There's a broad spectrum of many different mental and brain abilities. Scientists, thanks to research of those gifts, scientists can better focus on the finer genetic characteristics. Information from this branch of project, what is made in another context of existence, can improve much more soldiers' abilities with the appropriate DNA structure. Selection of genetic heritage is properly made in 5D. So they're assessing and looking at this from 5D. That's what you're saying.
And this is bad?
No.
Because you are looking at it like 5D.
I'm saying it like that because I know that no one else has ever heard that before.
Aha, okay. My bad.
Yeah. I believe that's new information.
Okay.
So, then
that will be the last one. That will be involved groups will be the last one, I think.
Yeah, until next time when we'll talk more about it. Since the very start of the program, most notorious Mobius and Monarch corporations are involved.
Yeah.
So you have the good and the bad, right? So this is the bad because of their hunger for power. And
you know what they are? They are absolutely crazy G's.
They want to improve and polish the best and the finest they're a fake virtual modeled reality, what we know from the movie in the Matrix.
You need to say the Mobius.
Yep. And then you said the fun fact is that we should not be called reality because it pretty much does not exist at all. It is only a quantum computer simulation.
But it is like that. It is like that, aka it isn't.
And that's running in the background of the real world. So very much like the Matrix, we have this Mobius reality still running. It's still running, right? Because even though
a second, it isn't running as they want. It isn't like we are making slow progress. Let's say it is creation in progress. Do you know what I mean?
right, because you put a
process in progress.
what was the date that you kind of
26th April 2020.
Yeah. So, all right.
Oh my, oh my.
So if we want to comprehend it better in some sort of operating system, not only all the people are living in, but everything is working inside. So we're still experiencing this simulation.
Those are some sort of, some sort of effects still, effects and still effects and still effects. Like people don't like those effects, but they are still here.
The residual effects of
residual effects, yeah,
of their plans of what they want to do to us, or to traumatize us, essentially, because they could just kind of get rid of it if they wanted to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they want to play with us.
Right.
They like to play with us.
We're entertainment for them.
Don't ask me why. I am not them. Don't ask me why.
Yeah, I think they find us amusing. It's like we watch television, they watch us.
What?
I said we watch television, they watch us.
Okay.
Right? And then they jump into our reality, and then they act as celebrities. Essentially, that's what celebrities are. Yeah.
You know what? Amusing celebrities. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand you completely.
So the second is monarch, and they want complete domination over humanity.
Why I am not surprised.
Because they believe only after enslaving all or most of the human race for work, labor, maybe as an experimental subjects, we as species can make some sort of advancement. So that sort of reminds me of the smart cities, all the agendas.
Android became human or whatsoever, yeah.
So the Android sort of, getting everyone living in one place, control systems. I'm trying to think of that other Observer video game. Where everyone's locked in their little, small little, you'll have nothing and you'll be happy because you'll be a robot and you won't be able to think on your own.
Hey, stop. You are happy. So stop, okay? You are happy. Stop.
Right. You're going to make us be happy, right? But, they never talk about how they are going to live that way too, right? It's only us that they want. The enslaving.
Hey, stop. Yeah. You didn't take it right, because you will not understand that you will be not able to understand.
Right. You won't be able to understand at that time. So it's too late. Yeah. And
it will be too late for you.
You know what's really interesting is I remember you started talking about Monarch, and there were so many people that were like, "Oh, I'm a Monarch agent," and they were bragging about it, and they just thought it was the coolest thing. And I'm like, "That's not really a good thing, And I said, "You're the ones that immediately, it's the enslavement. They were already getting owned or controlled, and they didn't have any awareness that was happening." That they're being used for things.
All right. Not used, misused.
Very badly misused, and harming other people, harming the planet, used for really terrible things, right? So I always suggested that people, if you feel that you're connected to Monarch, pull out immediately, because you're helping them with hive mind and helping them to destroy the planet and put everyone in a slave system. So it's just like the AI. Everyone thought AI was really cool, and they thought it'd be cool to be a robot. And just look at the observer reality, or a
Observer
cyberpunk.
system redux.
Read it, yeah. And look at cyberpunk. I mean, if that's really what, I mean, there, I believe those realities.
It is cool. Okay, go ahead and put. We can put you in that reality, and it will be cool. Oh my God.
Because that reality will probably still exist for those that really want to be there, I guess. Unfortunately.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, and you can't control, you know, it's people like Elon Musk that really finds that
please
interesting.
Don't. Oh my God.
But anyhow, that's Monarch. Yep.
And that's pretty much it.
Well, let's see. You also, most of their technologies are from another context of existence.
Yeah.
So is it a bleed through, or is it an invasion?
No, it's. Do you know what? It's some sort of mix. Some sort of mix.
They were able to transport them here via wormhole. Yep. You still there?
Yeah. Here, why?
The audio went down a bit. Okay,
Yeah.
so as I said, really think through some of this information. More is going to come out along these lines. There's been so much confusion about it. It's time for people to open up to finally getting information regarding very old documentation that Peter has access to, and take that information to help you to better make your decisions for the future, and not be afraid of certain things. I know a lot of people are afraid of the whole time travel process, the fact that they exist in other realities, and with less fear, you're able to take in the information, understand it a little better. But with fear, everything sounds really horrible and scary. And not have any fear, but be willing to look at it. And so then you can take more control of your own choices and experiences moving forward, rather than feeling like a victim, which I find that's across the board. So many people, when they talk about these subjects, they feel victimized, which goes into MyLabs. And we're not talking about MyLabs right now, and there is a difference. Unless you're talking about Monarch and Mobius that would use MyLabs. But that's going to be for another topic, or
yeah, definitely.
More on the subject later.
Yeah.
So thank you, Peter. This is very helpful, because I know that people say, well, you're not really talking about current events. Everything that Rainstorm Corporation covers is related to current events. Time travel is relating to what's happening in our reality as well. And check out Warehouse 13. It's a pretty interesting series, and they do predict some very catastrophic things that happen, but they also find a solution. And it's just another perspective of how things rolled out. But that is soft disclosure. Right, Peter?
Definitely, you are right.
Yeah.
But we will, let's say, stay tuned, because this is only start of the series of the shows.
Perfect. Thank you, Peter.
Because we are because get ready for changing our website, and we are making interesting stuff to hang on to it. Am I right?
Well, updating, we're just adding more content. So we're not really changing it, but we'll be updating it and adding more information to the website to help people better understand and feel a little bit more confident going forward. But yeah, we appreciate your knowledge, Peter, and that you're willing to share with us. And until next time, I guess.
Yep. Thank you very much for giving me another opportunity to be on your channel. And till next time, hold tight. Bye-bye.
Okay, and thank you, Ed. Thank you, Peter, again. And thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you for your support. And don't forget to subscribe. Check out our other sites, Andronetalks Radio, Andronetalks News, and the ACIO website. Stay tuned. We'll see you next time.
You have been listening to the Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Marrocco. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Visit www.acio-agency.org and www.readingsbyarael.com. Post your questions and comments below. We look forward to hearing from you. Feel free to support our work. All the links can be found in the description. Thank you.